penis. Oh, he's held off. Change the timing, so I have to say penis again.
Smart guy.
You tried. I'll give you that. You tried.
Trolling is cupcakes, gentlemen.
And now I forgot to fucking unmute myself. God damn it, I'm a god. Welcome everybody to the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I'm back from my vacation, and I suck at my job. Yay, everybody!
So, how was the Great White North, eh?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was glorious, and the amount of salt I got to release while I was up there was just glorious. Everybody just kept saying, "Oh, you're so happy," when I got back, and then I started to read the internet again. God damn you people!
You found out what the real world was like without all the stupidity going along, or more accurately, not knowing what was going on. It was so much nicer. Ignorance is bliss.
I was on a cabin that didn't have any fucking cell phone reception for almost a week. It was so good. I felt like it was almost as good as multiple orgasms. It was just
Let's just all pool our
really
life savings.
I'm guessing you brought a mannequin with you.
Shut the fuck up. I knew it. I should have seen that coming. Let's all go
with Jed at his wilderness cabin and become Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll raid the Swedes.
Yeah, the Swedes, they had it coming.
Yeah, a bunch of men alone in a cabin. I think I'll pass.
A bunch of white guys alone in a cabin.
Oh yeah, that makes it okay. Yeah.
I think I've seen this movie.
You're not joining us? I mean, it's safe. You're black.
I'm good.
You're black. It's safe, dude.
I noticed that.
It's completely okay.
Wait.
When you raid Sweden and you make off with all their hot women, then they're just like, oh, yes, you're a brown person. Go ahead. Go.
So, tell me about your blackness.
Okay, we should dispense with a general vacation talk.
An actual topic.
Yeah, because we got some topics while I was away, and should we just start with the most glorious one, because this is going to take an hour.
Yeah.
Because Ding Dong, the witch is dead. The Wicked Witch is dead.
Well,
I thought we were going to go with Copacabana on that one.
The witch's taint has exploded.
Yeah.
The rest of her are still alive and kind of in shock.
I'm melting. Next week
No, just her taint. Just her taint.
I think the witch has more been hobbled because, as people may not know, Gawker.com got sold to Universal. Sorry, not Univision.
Big step up.
Yeah.
Univision, the people with the Mexican
Lucha Underground. They got Lucha Underground. That makes them the greatest company ever. And as of next week, Daughter.com, the main parent site, is going away. The subsidiary accounts such as Kotaku, Jezebel, Gizmodo.
I said it was the only reason any company would buy the company would be to buy the assets of the company and liquidate the sites themselves.
Yeah,
but we don't know if the other sites are going to be. We don't know if the other sites are going to be liquidated yet, or just kept running.
Well, that's the thing. Gawker is the biggest perpetrator. That's the one. That's the one that has the biggest negative connotation.
It's also kind of a huge red flag for all the underlings who go like, "Oh Jesus, we dodged a bullet."
Yeah, you need to get your shit together. It's good.
And quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Univision isn't going to hesitate to. They own you now. they don't need, anybody could set up these websites quickly and start them over again. If they
Somebody
aren't going to make.
was saying that they're going to rebrand it as Kotaku and it's going to be all Hispanic. That
That was my favorite.
I would
That was
start
my favorite.
reading it again because
That
that
was-
would be hilarious. They forced Patricia Hernandez to start acting stereotypical.
Oh, please.
What are you
Oh,
talking about? What are you talking about?
Make
she does
it
this-
so!
she
Make
does
it
it-
so!
She does do that anyway, but in a different way. It's not the Hispanic way.
Yeah.
No. She's got to write about Mexican food and how every game is about Mexican food or mariachis.
Yeah, but this. I mean, this
why
has.
Mass Effect Andromeda does not cover Hispanic cuisine
Oh god.
and why that's racist.
And how if it did and you liked it, it would still be racist.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you look at, I will say it doesn't look so good for the sister sites quite now because quite a few people have jumped ship when they heard about the Univision sale coming.
Oh no. A lot of them jumped ship before this as well. It was like
Yeah.
watching. It was like watching a plague-ridden ship filled with rats, and then just slowly going down, and then you see all the fucking rats evacuating towards, Germany or something.
On this date in 2015, the UN determined that Gawker.com had Ebola.
Yeah.
And then it was taken out the back and shot like old Yeller.
Or it was Ebola.
Yeah, but the thing is that it doesn't fucking surprise me that they shut the site down because they're so. It has such a bad fucking name at this point online. There are a lot of people reading it, but I think a lot of people are hate reading it more than anything.
I have a feeling that about half their readership is probably other journalists.
Oh yeah, and the amount of salt from the
Ooh.
journalists, from the so-called fucking journalists.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Tell us about Glenn Greenwald.
There's all
Jesus
sorts of things
fucking-
going on here. The best one I love about this is the narrative from lots of people, such from Movie Bob going onwards to Glenn Greenwald to Jason Schreier to all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, and
It's
Glenn.
always multi-billionaire
Yeah.
used its big money to bully little Gawker, and I'm like, that's not what happened, guys.
That's not how.
Well, that's the narrative they're trying to push, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the shit from Glenn
Here's
Greenwald.
how it works. If you didn't do anything wrong, it doesn't matter how much money he has.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I tried. I did not actually think Glenn Greenwald would defend Gawker once it disappeared. That's why I was so surprised when I got back from my vacation and Glenn Greenwald was defending Gawker.
This is a travesty for America.
Yeah, it's a huge loss. It's such a unique site. It was like listening to Trump talk about, America.
Anything.
Yeah, anything. It was.
Okay, look, I don't think there's been ever a fish that baited its own hook, swallowed it whole, handed the line off to the fisherman, and then spent months dying while screaming that the fisherman got financial help to rent the boat.
Yeah.
But that's
the
what
whole thing is
That's their entire focus.
anybody. It wasn't hard to see that this was eventually going to be the reaction that happened. A year and a half ago. As a company, you can't act this way. You can't do things that people can bring up lawsuits on you, for, and think that you're just going to be untouchable. Eventually, you're going to piss off the wrong person. And it wasn't that, for the most part, they had done this to a lot of people. Like Thal said, this was just, Hogan was just the first one that was like, fuck it, I'm fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he gave him the money. And it would have happened if it wasn't Hogan. It would have been somebody else eventually because they couldn't help themselves. I mean,
Because they with lots of money and influence. So of course, this Peter Thiel would just be hanging around looking for someone who had a good case against him to help.
he
wasn't the
literally
person
was.
he went
He
to.
said himself he was just waiting.
Yeah, and this was not the first person that he looked at. He looked at a couple of other previous cases, but didn't think that they were solid enough to actually do full backing on. So Hogan was not his first, and he even said, I mean, back in like 2009, Denton was recently re-quoted as bitching about Teal, saying, "Well, he says that I need to watch myself, and he sounds paranoid and angry." It's like, well, maybe you should have taken notice.
Yeah. It's I compare and I don't lightly compare Gawker to the fucking scum newspaper from Plippy's country or Tarsen's country, but it is the same amount of reckless fucking reporting.
Yeah, the recklessness. That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah. It's just, we'll walk over dead bodies, we will publish sex tapes from kids if they're famous enough.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do anything to generate clicks. No fucking, don't. Where's the public interest in doing that? Where's the public interest in reporting in that way, trying to create the most fallacious shit that you possibly can?
Ultimately, Gawker tried to argue that it's a public interest because they thought it was public interest.
Yeah, that's how
the press is literally the arbiter of what is or is not newsworthy.
Yeah, it's not like Hulk Hogan was like a prominent politician or even a celebrity talking about the importance of family values. He was doing neither of those things. It was not public interest.
Well, what he was doing was not public interest. Okay, where's the sexual affair? The closest that you have is Bubba the Love Sponge being cucked, but that's not what the story was. The story was here's Hogan making out in a poster bed.
His dick isn't public interest. No matter how much you think him having an affair or being old mate being cucked or whatever.
Yeah, my point is that it doesn't.
He didn't need to show his dick.
But
they didn't even censor it. They didn't blur it out. They just said, "Here's Hulk Hogan's dick." That's what the story really was.
Yeah,
and they tried to spin it as if it wasn't. And anyone who half a brain knows that's a load of bullshit.
Yeah, you have to remember that Bubba the Love Sponge is actually himself. I don't know if anyone knows anything about him, but he is, frankly, a media slime ball. He is a slime ball. He'll just do anything for attention. So,
yeah, I believe that.
Also more than a little bit racist. Gotta put it out there.
Didn't know that.
No, I'm a massive pro wrestling fan, so I follow all this stuff very closely. To the point where when this happened, it was on Wrestling Observer, which is like the higher class of wrestling journalism. When they first started covering this, they were going, there is no way Gawker are going to lose this. I mean, look at the guy. I mean, he's a gay Bulgarian Jew. He's going to do all of this, and I don't see anyone siding with Hogan over Gawker. And as the year went on, you could just see them going, following the Gawker trial, going, these people are scumbags. These people are pieces of crap. And these people who knew nothing about Gawker from the get-go. But as they followed the story, they came out of it going, Hogan, say what you want about the whole calling, having the N-word tirade, but to be honest, he's not as bad as these assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, is that you can say what you want about the Hulkster, but at least he didn't step over fucking people's careers to get clicks.
Well, technically.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude, I don't know enough about fucking wrestling to comment on this.
Without going into the full history of Terry Bollea since the 70s, there is... okay, let's go with that one.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, this is going to be the pro wrestling rant for 2 hours, and we don't want that here.
Well, we have enough topics.
Stay awake this time.
Say again, sorry?
I said we'd like Artivous and I to stay awake this time.
Yeah.
They messed with the wrong dude, brother. That's all you need to know.
I finally gave y'all something to rag on me about, so I'm just gonna let it ride.
Yeah.
There is no defense.
my winning streak was 6 months long, dude. I'll take it.
Yeah, let's not forget that on the live broadcast of the interview with DocuFox, there were supposed to be 2 interviewers for that one, but for some reason, someone fell asleep right in the middle of that fucking interview, so I wouldn't be too high and mighty, evil.
I didn't fall asleep in the middle of it. I was ill.
I was very aroused. I was very aroused. I solved my problem, and then sleep just happened as nature intended.
Yeah.
He is
But
a doctor who is
I had to
capable of
make a judgment
self-diagnosis.
call. It was vomit on stream or go away.
Yeah. That,
You know, if
Yankee
he
your
was
chain,
vomited on
dude.
stream,
Yeah.
ratings would have come.
No, all right. Going back to Gawker and this whole thing.
You want me to vomit on stream?
Yes.
We need the numbers, goddammit! We need the numbers!
We're on the right topic for it. If Gawker can't make you hurl, nothing will.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but it didn't surprise me that the company that bought him just sort of cannibalized the place.
Now, first of all, they bought them for more than they were worth.
Yeah. What? One at a time, please.
They bought them for more than they were worth. First of all, they were only worth about $90 million, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't make their freaking bond.
Yeah.
Which is why they had to sell the entire fucking enterprise.
Mm-hmm. And Nick Denton is even more in debt than we thought he was.
Oh, I feel so sad.
Personally, Nick Denton owes Hulk Hogan, not the court, Hulk Hogan, $10 million that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Hulk's just going to have to take it out of his ass.
Whoa. Pro wrestling's a fairly open-minded game, boy.
What are you going to do?
But no need to take it into the humbling territory. When you want to humble
I somehow believe that Nick Denton isn't sexually satisfying, so I don't think there's a way to really take it out of his ass.
Look at the guy's face. He looks like he's in perpetual weasel mode.
Yeah.
He is. He's always been a weasel.
He's probably got a zipper on the back of his head.
He's always been a sleazy tabloid shit.
That reminds me.
Just the fucking name of the site, Gawker.
Mm-hmm.
It should just tell you, okay, this is someone hiding in the fucking bushes, waiting to take pictures of little girls passing by upskirt.
No. That's a stalker. A Gawker is somebody who stands out in the open and does the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, Gawker's the sort of person that sees a car crash and just stands there and looks at it, taking photos, not doing anything to help.
Masturbates.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Jesus. That got dark.
Well, that's escalated.
Make it evil, everybody.
We're supposed to be the bad guys.
Yeah, but what do you guys think is going to happen to the other sites? I mean, you got Jezebel, you got Gizmodo,
it depends. It depends, because right now, Univision owns everything.
Yeah.
And that was because they fought very hard because different companies just wanted to buy one or two sites. And they wanted to do that because they didn't want to handle all of the bullshit of having to deal with the other sites. It's like, no, we just want this site and then walk off in the sunset. And you could probably salvage, if you bought like one website or two websites from them, you could probably have salvaged those sites and turned them around or folded them into other sites. And it wouldn't have been that hard.
They would probably actually go well together.
Yeah.
You'd have to refer the fuck out of Gizmodo, but yeah.
But because basically you were forced to buy all the sites and none of them, there's going to be...
What you do when you're auction something off, you put all the good stuff in with a big pile of crap and hope someone will buy the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It was a big thing. No one wanted to put the pay in for Gawker.com itself. No one.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean, even though I don't fucking like the site, Kotaku still has...
It'd be like publicly announcing, I just bought a giant shit sandwich, now watch me eat it.
Yeah.
It's got two nice pieces of bread on it.
Yeah, but still. As much as I hate to fucking admit it, Kotaku still has a market
No, it
share.
doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
Look at its stats now.
No,
it has the perception of having a market share, but really it doesn't.
Yeah, because it's been trying to sell itself for the past year. The majority of the sites have, and I think Univision is kind of in that place in what could, because they can't sell. What was the time frame where they can't actually sell any of the other sites off by themselves for a while?
Yeah, but I don't.
Wasn't it like 5 years or something?
I don't think so, because there's already rumblings that Jezebel's going to get shot off.
Yeah.
Someone else.
Yeah. The most contentious sites are going to get shut down. Things like Gizmodo, Lifehacker, the smaller sites that haven't been tarnished by.
Hey, I got a life hack for him.
Yeah,
don't post sex tapes of celebrities.
Yeah, but good point. I mean, the thing is, Jezebel was ranting like a motherfucker when Jennifer Lawrence's pictures got when the fappening happened. But whenever Gawker published either the fucking sex tape from Hulk Hogan or the pictures of Justin Bieber,
or any other,
various celebrity dick pics,
or any celebrity dick pic.
Yeah, not a fucking peep, nothing.
Jezebel's traffic. All right, look at the traffic. Look how much they're actually doing, not what they're trying to show that they're doing. Yeah. These sites aren't doing very well.
No, but I'm saying
traffic. No. Traffic started tanking very, very, it had been tanking before even GG came along, where they were losing traffic because people were getting tired of clickbait. Clickbait is an openly made fun of thing now.
Yeah.
So trying to pretend like any of these sites are worth a lot of money is just sales pitch.
Yes, I realize that. I'm just saying that some of the sites...
you don't.
Dude, I realize that. I'm just trying to...
Okay, this needs to be said because it dovetails with what Artie was just saying. Sam Biddle, say what you want about him, it's probably entirely true.
I have a lot of things to say about that dickhead.
Had one thing exactly right. Gawker was an outrage site. Outrage drives traffic. Anything that they did was aimed at getting people angry or upset and responding because it meant that they went to the website to check it out until people began getting smart and using things like ad blocker and archive.
Yeah.
But even that didn't really impact their traffic that much. The bulk of people just clicked right through and they're just like,
yeah, but that's my
bullying.
Yeah, that's my point. Is a lot of these sites still have some normie appeal, even though
they don't.
No, please, just allow me to fucking finish my point before you fucking refute it, okay?
I love it. The whole point is no, they don't. What I'm saying is no, they don't. I just think that yes, they do. Oh, so you agree with me? No, I don't.
You know what he's
when
trying
did this become a Monty Python skit?
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to stop me from fucking tossing logic at this.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to save you for once, Jen, and you won't let it happen.
I keep walking into that brick wall like it's a huge fucking.
Let me explain to you something.
Okay.
Sites like these, Jen, sites like what Gawker owns, these outrage clickbait sites, they've become common knowledge that they're bullshit and people avoid the links.
Yeah.
There are comedians, and I'm talking about the most mainstream comedians on the planet, making fun of these websites. Conan O'Brien does a regular thing on his show, a regular skit, where he makes fun of these clickbait websites and these list sites.
Yeah.
It's they are tanking in terms of profitability because, one, people see that they're crap, and two, it's been obvious to people for a while, and people are wisening up about it. Anybody who uses the internet regularly. These sites aren't worth money. They're throwaway. Univision did not buy Gawker to keep these sites. Univision bought these sites to keep the assets, servers and offices, and maybe a few writers here and there that they may keep.
That's quite
But chances are, huh?
If you buy an infrastructure, if you want to buy a good internet infrastructure, take yourself a company with a shitty brand which has already got a good established internet structure, and just buy that, and then you're basically just buying the equipment and any archives they own.
Yep, and then all you have to do is start your own sites, which Univision will be doing, and for the most part, you could set up your own, major websites without much work. That's why they did it. They aren't going to keep the majority of these sites, and you're going to be seeing it within the next year and a half. I really doubt.
Do
you want some clickbait though?
I really doubt that Kotaku and Jezebel and all these sites are going to last the next year and a half. They can't sell them off. Because of the auction and the rules of the auction, they can't sell these sites off by themselves yet.
No.
So it's more profitable. It might be more profitable for them to just shut them down. So that's what you're going to see.
I just wish they got the Gawker.com domain, because they would slay me, and I would just praise Univision forever if they did this. If at Gawker.com they closed it down, instead of having a 404, they just had the the Mexican maid from Family Guy going, Gawker is not here.
No.
Gawker not home.
No.
And then she closes the door
every article, I just put one up about how scummy Gawker is.
Yeah.
And left it.
And then she slams the door shut, and now Nick for your little penetration. No.
And then just the sounds of screaming and wet.
It's always back to the mannequins with you, ain't it, Jen?
Ah, yes.
We will have our hobbies.
Yes.
If we're going full on
our release.
If we're going full on Univision, then it's going to turn into like a Tijuana Dog and Pony show starring Nick.
Oh, Jesus.
But to be fair, when it comes to Univision, we've got a couple of things that I get access to. I mean, they get the El Rey network, and that's why I fell in love with Lucha Underground, because everything I've seen from Univision has been pretty awesome.
Are you talking about the telenovela? Are you talking about the telenovela?
Telemundo!
Yeah.
Yeah, Telemundo!
I don't think Lucha Underground's on.
Alejandro! What are you doing?
Every time
I am making a sandwich!
I live in Arizona, where, you get Hispanic culture all over the place, including various ads for television spots and whatnot, and it's almost all stopcock material that I see.
Yeah.
That's why, that's my impression. I'm sure there's some good stuff out there, I just don't see it.
You know what? I take it back. Gawker could have been saved if you turned it into a Spanish soap opera TV series.
Telenovela!
If they do
Oh, the Hulkster.
Alejandro!
Look at him. Patricia!
We
Patricia!
meet again.
Mi hermana es grande, me viene en su cama, monsieur.
You are.
And get Bruce Campbell co-star as the villain.
When did
So
this
basically-
podcast evolve into a telenovela?
It really did. Oh, God.
All I want is basically we're going to have Kotako, and then we can have guacamole.
I want Kotaku. With Stefan Tortilla in charge.
Steven Tortilla.
I'm having tacos tonight.
Oh.
That's
Do you want to be honest?
it.
I actually had tacos when I heard the taco joke. I had tacos.
I kind of want tacos now myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The taco bowl.
Hard shell or soft shell?
That's it.
Soft.
Oh, I'm a hard shell guy.
I need to go out and have a celebrity
I don't care.
taco bowl to celebrate.
Yeah.
I've never had a bowl.
Yeah, but going back to the fucking daughter sites. Jezebel, dead.
To be fair, Jezebel it looks like it's going to be sold off to someone else almost immediately, which makes me think that it is possible. I do believe it is possible, even at this point, to rehabilitate Kotaku. You just have to go, mistakes made, new staff, here we go, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Gizmodo, I think, is fine, because I don't think Gizmodo went that bad. And I think, Live Pack, I think that's just needs a minor tweak and it'll be fine.
There's a couple of people at Kotaku who'd have to go because they're the main drivers of what I call Denton culture.
Jason Schreier, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have long rooted for Stefan Titio to stick around and hopefully rehabilitate them, because the guy comes with cred from MTV before any of this shit. I've read his MTV.
Oh yeah, because MTV is such a fucking.
Oh boy, here we go. You should have said that.
What?
I've read his MTV era stuff, and it was actually competent.
Was this back when MTV was good, or are we going back before?
No. MTV was still crap.
Pregnant.
MTV was still crap and doing lots of reality stuff, which is why they did a
MTV's been crap for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But before Totio worked at Kotaku, he was over at MTV, essentially doing their gaming report division. Him and like 2 other guys, and he actually put obvious effort into what he was doing because he's like one of the only guys.
And then he realized I don't have to put any effort in.
Right, at Kotaku, he doesn't really have to. No, and also he was working for Denton.
Yeah.
So it's like that was the corporate culture.
Isn't Stefan Tortilla, as his new name will be, under his new overlords? Isn't he actually the only one with an actual journalism degree? Isn't he the only one who should know better?
Yeah.
And I think he honestly does.
He is the editor. He's the editor at large at that place. So
you can tell he doesn't. Okay, you can tell he doesn't give a shit.
No. But
he doesn't now.
No, Jay. He doesn't give a shit because he's making random people guest editors.
Yeah, that is true. But here's the thing: if you look at Totio before he started at Gawker, and now, you can slightly see the development of a vampire. So we hope we can cure him.
Guys,
he gets to sync with the shit.
Could we not eat into the microphones? I don't have a problem with people eating, but don't eat them into the microphone.
Nom.
Oh god. I got banned from a radio show because I was chewing gum on the air, and they did not like that at all.
Wow.
We
have a nice one, Timon.
We have a huge level of professionality on this show. You see?
Are we being professional now?
All right, that's it. I'm getting drunk then if we're doing that.
Just start drinking, dude.
I am.
But should we? There's another thing that closed up. Do you guys want to talk more about Gawker, or should we talk about the other?
I think we've beaten it into the ground.
Yeah. There was another thing that got closed this week that was I thought was kind of funny because it kind of links into the MTV thing because Nightly Show got fucking asked.
You know what? It was never a big enough show for me to care about it, to be honest.
I was a big fan of the Colbert Report, so I did watch it, and immediately it just turned into, what? This is not even clever. This is...
It's not... It was... The whole point of the Colbert Show was to mock Fox News pundits and how they act and how they think. And it was really good at the time, and then even Colbert realized that was growing stale. And that's why he left to have his own, his own night show somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the thing is they basically tried to do a liberal version of that, where they made fun of, MSNBC pundits and CNN pundits. Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. That's the thing.
It didn't come off like that though.
It came
that's
off.
What it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was supposed to be, and that was the point of it. But they didn't go hard. They didn't actually make fun of NBC. They didn't make fun of liberals. It was supposed to be the opposite of the Colbert Report. But now it was never around long enough for anybody to give a shit. The Colbert fans that they were, hoping would stay and watch it didn't. It wasn't hard to see that it was going to get canceled.
Well, they went and watched his other show, so
Yeah.
which was on about the same time. So
Yeah.
And the worst part is that Larry Fillmore is not he's not a bad fucking comedian either. I don't necessarily dislike him. He's just he wasn't yeah, like you said, it wasn't edgy enough. And the thing is, as soon as Jon Stewart left the Daily Show as well, you could see that fucking hour just tanking seriously.
Oh yeah,
Really
the ratings
fucking
suck.
yeah.
because Trevor Noah is not very funny. That's his problem. He's just a smug, self-satisfied git.
Yeah,
He's not funny.
Yeah, and the thing is that there are plenty of fucking comedians that could have taken over that. Even if you wanted to diversify the fucking thing, you could have had a completely different guy hosting it. That would have been better. But I think that a lot of comedians said no to it because they were worried. They were worried they would not be able to fill the shoes.
No,
of
yeah,
Jon
nobody.
Stewart.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted to jump in and follow him after he had done such a great job for so many years.
Yeah.
And it was a lose-lose situation. There was no way that people were going to accept you replacing Stewart. And even if you were good as him, I mean, it was a suicide job.
Yeah,
And Trevor Noah is a good comedian. Trevor Noah is a good comedian, and he's well known. And his skits were making fun of, Americans that need to be making fun of.
Yeah, I just think it's a personal choice for
But
me.
it's
I just
public.
don't find there's a line between I like someone to be condescending and it's like why I hate Ricky Gervais. People go, but he's British and he's an atheist, just like you. You should love him. I don't because
What, really?
he makes fun of people over things. I'm thinking, really, you're making fun of people for that? Really, you?
Honestly,
You're making...
Gervais is not funny. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
He's no Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy
I'm
Carr
not-
isn't funny either.
No, he's not.
Well, dude,
What?
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 Dylan Moran. There we go. There's someone who's funny.
Yeah, Dylan Moran, I can agree with. Dylan Moran's funny. The only thing that pisses me off is he's in fucking Linehan's corner. I don't like.
But then he's automatically not funny.
Yeah, well, well, the
Doesn't
thing.
politics just ruin everything for everyone?
Yes, it does.
Basically, yes.
It does. It's
Which was why
Trump.
people fight so hard to keep it out of certain fandoms.
yeah.
That was the whole point of Gamergate in the first place. This was the place where we didn't give a shit about your politics. Just grab your stick and go.
Yeah.
Let's just play and have some fun and forget about the rest of the fucking world for a couple of hours and unwind. And because you had a group of people who all they are their politics, basically tried to inject it. They inject it into everything because it's all they are as human beings, and they don't have anything else.
Yeah, but
They don't
they're not
care.
even they're not even smart politically because
Yeah,
they have basically
That's
read a
beside
couple.
the point.
No, but they have read a
That's
couple of
beside the
Cornell.
point. It's
There's-
not
No,
about.
I know.
It is
Gentlemen,
not about
gentlemen.
being right. It's about feeling superior.
It's a
Yeah.
bit more than that, gents, if I may point out. We have constantly seen that when they try and hijack something, it's always something that's already popular. They
Yeah.
don't want to create something new and work it up because that takes time, effort, creativity. They just want to latch on to whatever it is that's already popular and turn it into their pulpit of the moment.
Mm-hmm. Look at Star Trek, look at comic books, look at Star Wars, look at everything, look at video games, look at comics. They seem to know absolutely nothing about it. At the same time, they seem to bitch about it, claim to be there the whole time, and oh my goodness, it annoys me off. Damn, please finish your thought.
It's some,
Bing!
yeah, and
Did somebody record that?
Yeah.
That needs to be like a short video. That's like right up there with the pay gap button, the wage gap button.
Yeah, it is being recorded.
SJW's nutshelled by Flippy. Bing!
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not even, and I'm not talking about being right. I'm not talking about being, right all the time. That's not the point of being politically smart. Politically smart means that you have actually done more than read a couple of Cornell West books. It means that you're willing to listen to
Jen,
people and willing to
Jen,
fucking
Jen,
yeah.
you are aware
That's
that you're
not their
applying
agenda.
logic to illogical people, right?
Yes. I'll go hide in the corner now.
Hey guys, has anyone read Das Kapital? It explains everything if you ignore all the other books around the subject.
Yes, it's the same as saying that, oh, we just need a complete open market like Adam Smith suggested, and then everything will be fine. No, dude, please.
No, we just need to police language further and tell white people they're the problem for everything.
We
Yeah.
are the problem, dude. You just have to roll over and accept it. Just roll over. I mean, even Japan has Black Lives
I'll
Matter.
never roll over.
Just
That
roll
is
over.
where my massive weak spot is.
No, but the thing is, and I know I'm in danger of doing what Artivous tells me never to do on stream, but
Never said before.
no, I know, but it's just it's the same problem with the nightly show, and I wouldn't say that the daily show necessarily had that problem, because it didn't just make fun of one side of the political spectrum. It tried to do everybody over.
Which is, and that was the thing about Jon Stewart,
Yeah.
is he would rip on the left just as much as he would rip on the right.
Yeah.
It was just the way he was, because he was never really
When he
politically
saw
aligned.
bullshit, he called it out, and he didn't give a fuck who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
he
was
was
like-
big enough that nobody could go after him.
Yeah.
Trevor Noah was basically a
And
puppet.
if they
There's a
tried to go
guy-
after him, he'd rip him a new ass.
Yeah, there's a guy who, for the most part, Trevor Noah is a comedian, but he was not big enough to really. He's not big enough to fight back.
No, exactly. And I
There's
was
certain
willing to
things
give
that
him
he's
some
not
time.
going to be able to say. No, that's the thing. If he
Yeah.
says or does certain things, his job's going to be gone. He doesn't have control over that show. He doesn't have control over the Daily Show. Jon Stewart had control over the Daily Show.
Yeah.
When he left, basically, the corporate
were
owner of
rudderless.
Comedy Central took over, and they control everything. He's just there in the seat. And honestly, if he were in control, I think it would be a better show, and he could say a lot of things that he's not going to be allowed to say. But it's a corporate shell of what it was, and it'll probably last maybe 2 more years.
Yeah, but you have to remember the Daily Show, the executive producer at the moment was handed over to Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
He had everything Jon Stewart had. But he does not have the social capital. He doesn't have the, what's the word? Social political capital yet to really go all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly. He can't do shit that Jon Stewart could do and get away with it.
And
Also,
that's
I
why
thought-
it's crap.
I also thought Jon Stewart was just more infinite. He was just more likable.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. You got more emotion out of the
Yeah.
guy.
I mean, he had more personality.
I think so. Yeah.
But
But did you see his thing on? Hang on. Did you see his thing on when he was on the night? Sorry, not the Night Show. Jon Stewart's new Tonight Show. When he was given a segment.
Oh, the with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah. Did you see that?
That was hilarious.
That was great.
That
I
was
love the way
funny.
he was actually screaming at people, "You don't own these concepts. Stop claiming everyone owns these concepts. Nobody does." And I saw a lot of people in the alt-right going, "Oh God, it's juicing. We don't own anything." He goes, no, he's not saying that. He's saying you don't own the concepts to be outraged at certain things.
Yeah.
And he's right. No one does own the concept of patriotism on either side of the aisle. If there are indeed just two.
Yeah, and
We need
it's
to acquire this as soon as possible so we can own it.
it's the same fucking thing with feminism. They don't own the concept of equality.
No.
That's any ideology in general.
Yes.
It's one of the
Yes.
reasons that ideologies are so flawed, is that you feel that you have an ownership over a principle, and because of that you become a zealot, because if they aren't living up to the standard that you feel is okay or right, then they're not a true leader.
Come on. Let's be honest here. SJWs don't live up to the standard they expect other people to live up to.
But
No,
neither
that
does the
goes along with
alt-right.
zealotry.
Yeah, but neither does the alt-right either. So, yeah. I mean,
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
It's
on the
why
I'll
you
tell you what's
see.
the difference.
It's why.
Devil Rogue
It's
doesn't have
why.
any power.
yeah, I'm just saying.
It's why you keep catching Catholic priests with little boys. It's why Republican senators keep getting caught in bathrooms, having interesting times with glory holes. It's
Mhm.
why super male, hardcore feminists keep, turning up as
Getting
sexual
sexually harassing.
offenders and child molesters and fucking
Mhm.
doxers.
Dog fuckers.
It's those that generally those that try and pretend that they're zealots or perfect or have any kind of moral high ground
Yep.
I
generally
try to
end up
cover
being
for how horrible, disgusting
yeah.
people they are behind closed doors.
Which is why generally when I try and push a concept forward, my immediate reaction is to say from the start, listen, I'm a piece of shit, but here's what I think.
Yeah.
I am not a crook.
But
I did not bang that girl like a street door in a hurricane.
That's why the whole thing
I
with
did not
Melania
sex
Trump is
tape.
funny to me because right now the American media is trying to rail Melania Trump over the coals because of some nude pictures that she took as a model. And if you were a model back then, nude pictures were going to happen.
Hey guys, did you hear? Did you hear? Trump's got a
And it's
little
like, dude,
got a little
Bill
dick.
Clinton
What
literally
part of-
was sticking up cigars up women's vaginas while he was in office, and you're complaining about some tasteful nudes. Like,
Remember, it was consensual sex. There's nothing to see here. It's somebody's private sexual life. You're making the political personal. This is wrong and horrible. The Republicans are responsible for all that kind of culture.
Yeah, I think it's
That's how we
amazing.
do it.
yeah.
I was watching. I was just saw a tweet from Laurie Penny, and I know I did survive. Don't worry about it. I saw a tweet, and she was actually saying, "I can't tell the difference between all Trump's family's stupid plastic blondes." It's like, okay, double standard, much bitch.
Holy
Yeah,
shit! She
well-
actually said that.
Yeah.
are
Oh.
you surprised by any stupid thing Laura Penny says?
No,
No,
she's a hypocritical. The
Well,
video
no, okay. The first thing you need to understand is Laura Penny isn't dumb. Laura Penny is a con artist. Laura
Yeah.
Penny knows that she can play the game, she can lie blatantly and make money off of it because her whole shtick is getting paid to complain about how oppressed she is.
I wouldn't
Isn't
say
she
Here's a
from a
tweet from
really
her.
rich
The
family?
main thing I have learned since accidentally becoming
whoa.
more conventionally attractive that patriarchy is a game you can't win. So in other words, she's complaining that she wasn't sexually harassed, so she couldn't complain about being sexually harassed.
Yes.
Tarsen, what did you say?
I don't think, figuring out how to make money off of being a retard precludes her from being a retard.
Yeah.
No.
Good point.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying she's a genius. Okay. Far from it. I'm saying she's a con artist. Which means being smart enough to know that you can play people.
I will disagree. I don't think she is a. I think she's kind of got into a kind of a way of thinking which makes money out of things. For example, the way that she complained that there wasn't any women speaking at this event, and then when she turned when they assumed and when they did say we want you at this event, she said pay me. And when she got there, it turned out she was the only speaker there. They got paid to be there. So I think
That's
she's
the con.
That's the con, dude.
I think
don't believe
The
she
whole
knows she is.
thing,
I don't
the
believe
whole
she knows
thing
she
is about her whining to get money.
Mm.
She doesn't believe in any of these concepts or any of this bullshit.
But
Oh,
isn't she? Here's the thing. Isn't she from a really well-off family?
Yep.
Yes, she is.
Yep.
Public school
She
girl.
Most of these people
is
are.
a con artist.
Yeah, she's from a public school.
She's credit. I think she's just one of these selfish people who things happen to go their way when they complain, so they keep doing it. They don't know why what they're doing works. They just do it and it
Exactly.
works.
That's called
Yes.
positive feedback.
And I've also said about it, I am the one person who's ever said this about Laurie Penny, and I think I'll die with this on my gravestone. I'm the only person who actually says if she cleaned herself up a bit and stopped making herself appear to be a preteen boy, she'd actually be quite cute, but she hates men, so she won't do that.
Dude, you're not the only one that thinks that.
That is her choice. If she wants to be an unlovable bitch, that is her decision.
That is her choice.
It's profitable.
But it is there is some truth into what
And it's just become a hashtag conventionally attractive.
Yeah, but
Had a
there
picture
is
of her picking a nose.
yeah, but there is some truth to what Milo usually says that why are they purposely trying to make themselves look uglier than they really are? Why are you doing it?
Because they are smashing Western patriarchal cultural norms.
No, the real reason is because they want to make themselves unappealing to men, and they attract it in a very negative way to men. So when men react badly towards them,
because the first wave feminists already burned their bras, so this is how they protest.
I think the reality is simply that their beauty standards are based on what is not considered beautiful. It's the entire Tumblr anti-culture, counterculture, where they've basically developed this idea that everyone is beautiful, thus to be beautiful I need to not meet the normal standards, and that's really how it came out. I think it's as simple as that. There's no need to
it's and you're right. And the reason that concept fails is people thinking that they control what is and what isn't attractive to other people. And that has always been the problem with the concept.
You don't even control what isn't attractive to yourself.
Yeah, you don't control what you generally don't like. You don't even like you said. You generally don't control what you find attractive.
It's one of the
can't control what other people find attractive. That's why the whole body image movement is completely bullshit. Because you can put as many obese women on the fronts of magazines all you want. It doesn't mean that men are going to want to fuck them more. It doesn't mean that men are going to find them more attractive than women.
I have 2 points.
Contradictions of Tumblr culture is that they both think everything can be blamed on the intentions of humans and the actions of humans, but at the same time they want to take agency away from women to make them victims, and at the same time imply that men are inherently one thing or another.
I've always had this thing of the way that they're thinking. It's always a weird control thing with them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, they're not prepared to sit back and accept you are what you are. For example, I'm a white dude. I can't change that. I can't do anything about that. More like everybody. It's just like we are what we are. You know, in terms of what.
Should you even have to change
you
that?
can. Yes,
the
you
card
can.
we can. Hang on.
Shoot.
Of the card we've been played. Okay, and we sort of like deal with that, and that's how it's always been.
Yep.
You might be transgendered, you might not be not, you might be gay, you might be straight. It doesn't really matter. That stuff doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're not seen as a bad person because of that.
Yeah.
They have this weird thing where all of a sudden they want to control who is classified as what, which is why we're ending up with people like Sean King, with Rachel Dolezal.
God damn it! You used that example.
And to give
Jan was waiting. He's like, "You
were coiled like a snake. You were coiled, ready to leap out."
Go with
in contemporary awesomeness, Uncle Ruckus, thank you, Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
But that's always my thing. They always seem to want to take away the thing of you are the hand you're dealt with, while at the same time, it's like playing a game of poker, and they want to be able to switch out the cards whenever they want, or even change what the cards mean with them. And everyone else has to stay with what they've got.
Yeah.
And all their cards are failing cards, and all their cards are great.
Yeah.
That's what it always comes off to me. And at the same time, it's like they always put out this thing of they're being oppressed. So so many of them are being like the current thing of the trendy trannies, or the people pretending to be black when they're clearly not. I'm thinking, in Nazi Germany, were there any Nazi kids pretending to be Jewish to be cool? Were there any?
Actually, there is a story of a Jewish kid wanting to who became a neo-Nazi because he didn't fucking like his own culture.
That is the other way around.
That's the other way around.
During the actual Nazi
but it's
like who went and decided to become Jewish to be counterculture.
I twisted it around, but
it's a generation of people who had nothing to fight against, so they fought against the people that weren't entire giant pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noted this many times. As all the big civil rights battles have been fought and won, we have equality laws in place. We're down to fighting over manspreading and genderless bathrooms.
And women having the right to not feel scared when they're out at night, because men never feel nervous when they're on their own at night, ever. No, sorry.
Oh, hey, I feel that way when I'm on my own in the day.
See, I could solve both those problems in one fell swoop if women just started shitting in the street.
Oh God.
Well, they're shitting up the internet, so they may as well just move on to shitting
Because
directly on
that's
the
gonna.
street.
The type of person that turns on isn't going to be an attacker, and anybody else is, even rapists have standards. So
I'm just saying, the kind of person that's turned on by that, you're going to be worse than any standard rapist.
Yeah.
What happened?
So what you're saying is that there's three real defenses against rape. One is a gun, 2 is a cop within shouting distance, and 3 is a hamburger diet on a weekly basis.
Oh yeah.
No. See, this is one of the reasons why I was bringing up self-defense. It is so easy to kill a human being with minimal effort if you know where to hit. Like literally, I could teach any woman in the world within 10 minutes how to instantly kill somebody who's trying to force themselves on them with their bare hands. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
I know
And
this
that's
is
why
true,
feminists
but
piss
every
me
time
off.
somebody says that on the internet, somebody needs to come back with some type of meme. I know it's true.
No, and then the thing is, the reason it's so fun, it's like whenever I try and bring this up to people, especially when it comes to feminists, it's like, they change the subject immediately. And it's like, it's literally minimal effort. It would literally take me 10 minutes. 10 minutes of your time.
But why
10 minutes of
should
listening.
I learn
But
how
that
to
much
defend
effort.
myself? Because
You can't give 10 minutes of fucking effort to fucking learn this?
Well, no, because it means that they have to do something, dude. They have to do it.
There's a bit more than that. There's a little bit more to it than that. Feminists just have this hardcore mentality that anything violent, unless it's like screaming at somebody, is inherently masculine and therefore toxic. The thing is, to actually kill or disable somebody, you have to be willing to commit to that.
Did you see Josh's video?
Oh yes. The toxic masculinity video that Josh just did. Oh my fucking God! I saw the bullet points.
Macintosh actually being cornered in an alleyway and having to fight his way out, or just stand there and try to talk to them.
God, it's just
you get raped to death.
He had a tweet like this where he claimed he was confronted at the cinema with a friend of his.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And he just sat there and what was it? De-escalated situation by ignoring them. So they just called him a douchebag and just left. And it was
just that fucking bullet point. Sorry.
I want him to walk through the hood in Milwaukee.
Yeah. I actually did take the time to watch the video, and you know what I noticed about it is, every person he brought up as an example of this in the media is either from a film from nearly 50 years ago, and the list, or more accurately, is a list of someone. The most recent one was Biff Tannen, who is the bad guy, quite clearly. And
he's the guy that society is not rooting for, that society is rooting against because of the way he acts.
Yes.
But Macintosh was making the arguments that what he's doing is normalized.
Yeah,
and
but
the funny thing was,
I'm sorry, Flippy, but I just have to make this point.
You're going to say what I'm going to say next, so don't worry.
Yeah, the bullet point list that he made, there's nothing inherently masculine about that.
Nope.
It's
Those are human behaviors that they're trying to describe as masculine because he's fucking sexist like anyone else that uses that fucking term.
Yeah, and Tom, why do you need to gender something that is actually...
Here's the thing about Macintosh that you have to understand. He's a fucking pussy, okay?
Mm-hmm. I'd call him a cunt, but he doesn't have the depth nor capacity to give pleasure.
He has been a gigantic wuss most likely his entire life. He is probably taking shit from absolutely every single person he has ever come across his entire life.
Yeah, but
And somebody at some point, somebody at some point told him that he needed to man up or stand up for himself or to show a little bit of spine or backbone as in his life. And it's true that he probably needed to do that and probably has needed to do that his entire life. So to him, toxic masculinity is a thing because he's never been masculine. He doesn't want to have to man up and be a better person and strength and truly fight for his own survival or his well-being as a person or even his own self-respect.
Or even for the honor of a lady.
Okay,
so
well, here's
for
the
him,
thing. He's in a position where he doesn't have to. That's the
yes,
thing.
because he was a rich kid. Because he was a rich kid, he never had to deal with reality. And so, in his mind, all of those traits will forever be negative because it was something that he lacked in terms of no matter how much money he got, he did not compare to other men because he had no backbone. And even women, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Violence is something that the witness poor inflict upon one another.
Yeah.
The way that I've always looked at it was kind of like the same as the Paul Feig syndrome. It was the way that he'd always sort of like he'd never felt comfortable around men, and he never lived up to those standards, so he ended up hating those standards. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but I bet my ass it's because his dad wasn't necessarily around, and when he was around,
his mom was controlling and probably partially psychotic.
Yeah. That's why I'm so. I keep screaming about this. I know, but dads actually matter in your life. They do.
Dad lives matter.
Yeah, dude, I'm good. That hashtag needs to get started. Dad lives matter.
Dad lives matter.
It is fucking important.
Get taken over.
And as an uncle, I'm just an uncle because for everybody out there, I became an uncle for the third time.
And that explains so much about your secret sex life.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm a two-time
Uncle Jan.
I am the weird Uncle Jan. But the thing is that I see the effect of my niece and my nephew's father in their life, because he is actually like the classical dad figure, the guy who is always there to sort of put the foot down and let them know. It's not like my sister doesn't have it in her to be the strong one, but he's the guy.
It's more of having a level of self-respect.
Yeah.
All right. The problem with a lot of child rearing in the world right now, in the first world, is that you're getting a lot of fatherless homes because the fathers are being pushed out.
Yeah.
But with the father being like, all right, there's a negative connotation to certain things that fathers are going to teach, and it's not something that is good or bad in the right or wrong situation. Teaching a child to respect themselves and to not take bullshit from people is considered a masculine evil trait to a lot of these ideologues, but that is needed in order for basic survival. I mean, it's not something that's we're never going to have a culture where you're not going to have to stand up for yourself. I'm sorry, but that's just not the way it works. Life isn't that easy. Life isn't neutered. That's just not the way it happens. And so you have these full-grown adults now that don't understand that people are going to stand up to you when you start pushing too far. It's like the dude who got sucker punched when he tried to grab that guy's sign. What was it, in Germany?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where he thought that I'm going to grab these signs and take it down and there's going to be no repercussion. I don't care if these guys look like they could fuck me up in a bar. I don't like this sign and I'm going to take it down. And you know what happened? the guy who had a dad when he was around, who was around when he was a kid, knocked him the fuck out with one punch.
Yeah.
And warned him. It's just like, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, I'm going to do that. Pow.
Yeah.
And that's the situation. You're always going to come across the dude that's like, no, I've had enough. Stop.
Yeah. I think when it comes to Josh, remember the tweet that was pointed out? It was similar to what. Sorry, I keep calling you Sky. Sky. It was something that Josh tweeted. He says the reason that we are so not willing to stand up to men is because we all live in fear of the threat of physical violence. And I remember thinking to myself, no, just you.
Who's this we?
Who's this we?
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. Because anybody who's had combat training, the point of combat training or any kind of training whatsoever is to normalize those extreme situations so that they no longer give you the annexy that the mere thought of standing up for yourself gives to people like Josh.
Yeah.
Josh. And so to me, like somebody trying to fight me, like if somebody hits me, I'm not gonna freak out and be like, oh my god, somebody hit me. I'm just gonna look at them like, first of all, you should have knocked me out because it's over for you. But it's the kind of thing where it's like it's going to happen. It's a part of life. It's not something you can avoid. It's not something you can get away from. You're going to have to deal with confrontations.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, as you get older, the actual physical confrontation actually gets less, I've noticed. Because when I was younger, I was in fights fairly often, but now that I'm older, because
we have a social, a social hierarchy now. We know, we are aware of our place in the social hierarchy.
I think we have to address what the difference is between a lot of these elitist, pricks, and everybody else is. Yes, if you're in a potentially violent situation, you're going to have a fear reaction. But to these people, if you act violently in any way, it's like you have suddenly been taken over by your inner demons and hormones, and you have no control. And this
You're
is how
acting like the peasants, the commoners.
This is how they think violence works. This is how they think the military works.
Yeah.
And that's not it. That's how you lose a fight, by losing your head, as anybody in any martial arts training class will tell you, much less the military. You have fear, but you tamp it down, put it to the side, and say, this is what I need to do in order to survive. Because they cannot comprehend that. That's why they melt in a violent situation, because they cannot understand what's happening.
No, they haven't had any sort of conflict training. I mean, any sort
They've never been tested.
No, exactly,
and
that's something.
That freaking out is the proper reaction. That having no control is the right reaction.
That is something.
Somebody needs to tell Josh.
Yeah.
That
is something that
Jan. State your dominance, dude. You're the host. Establish your dominance over these people.
Dude.
To me, it's not about dominance, and it's not about...
He's challenging, man. He's challenging you.
It is
He's challenging you. Fight him down, man. I'm with on
Fight me in real life, Roy!
Bring it, motherfucker.
The worst
Pay
part
my
is...
way to Norway.
You just hear Jan scream, I'm gonna make you one of my mannequins tonight, motherfucker.
He wants to mount a unicorn head on his wall.
The worst part is we're the two veterans here, and we're actually the ones that are called the deviants as well. So yeah, serving in the army actually gets you a lot of deviancy. But
we understand the difference between testosterone and tactics.
That is very... I wanted to cover something else that was kind of anti-male, because I saw the BBC wrote an article about, and I've seen a lot of this sort of bullshit covering of the Olympics when it came to women's sports, and also the way that people reacted to that proposal.
Before we get into this topic, I just have to point out how hilarious it's been that absolutely everybody has been calling them out on their bullshit on this.
Yeah.
I just thought it was amazing. It was like a very sweet display of affection and love on a grand. He made the biggest possible romantic statement he possibly
took a lot
could
of fucking guts doing that.
in his lifetime.
How much courage does it take to do that in
Yeah.
front of the world when she could possibly turn around and go, I need to think about it, or some other excuse.
Yeah.
And not just from his perspective, I mean, they came out on her saying, well, we'll tell the story later, but the fact is, if they'd waited 3 hours, they could have read her comment, and it makes complete sense.
Yeah. And
no, they had to be outraged.
Yeah. They were writing it. What was the headline again? Was this proposal?
Tell the story.
Yes.
We've got ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we should tell the story. There was a Chinese female athlete. I cannot remember for the life of me what her fucking what the event was, but she won.
Gal.
Yeah, she won the gold.
Oh, she got the bronze.
No, the bronze. Okay. Even funnier, really, because she took third place, which is a fucking achievement in the Olympics. Don't get me wrong.
Yes, Olympic level, got a medal. Pretty awesome.
Fucking awesome. And how does her boyfriend react? By showing his love for her and making the whole world focus on her and not the gold medal winner. Her. Not him. Nobody knows who this dude was. Everybody knows who the fucking female athlete is at this point. And she won the fucking bronze. That's even... Everybody was talking about this. And the fucking headline of your goddamn national broadcasting channel...
Yeah, there's no point in getting upset about this. Or mad at it, Jen.
British Broadcasting Corporation.
Yeah.
Jen, don't get... See, this is what you do. You get mad at stupid shit like this, but you don't look at the reaction that people have.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get mad at the... No. It'd be different if people actually believed or took in any of this or didn't. Like, I saw SJW's hardline be like, listen, that's fucked up. Let him... No. Everybody, absolutely fucking everybody, called them on this bullshit everywhere. So getting worked up like you do is pointless because everybody was making fun of them. Just like the article, they had been trying all Olympics to try and get outrage fucking articles off. This wasn't the first one. They had been trying all Olympics, all of these clickbait sites, shit about, like I remember there was this article, they wrote an article every time a coach, like the coach for the U.S. Olympics team, the gymnast, he got an article where they were talking about his accomplishments and whatnot, and so they wrote articles that they wrote an article about the coach instead of the girls who competed.
Yeah, and
everybody was like, "Wait a minute! Didn't all of those like?" He doesn't get paid a lot of money for this. He just coached these girls. The actual girls themselves are getting multi-million-dollar fucking endorsement deals and like doing shit with Wheaties and fucking Tide laundry detergent and fucking shit. And they're getting rich off of this shit. And all he is he gets one article like, hey, this was the guy who coached him. Congratulations, guy. But apparently that's toxic masculinity because the article is about him and not about... It's not like the girls are getting TV interviews constantly and whatnot or anything. No. It's this one article that they need.
And there were a bunch of those articles. And
there was stuff like that the entire Olympics. The stuff with the volleyball teams and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
They have been trying the entire Olympics to talk about this bullshit, and people got tired of it because it was every day it was a new, let's try and outrage people with this random bullshit. And people were like, just shut the fuck up.
But a pair of lesbians got engaged on the the 8th day, and they were singing the praise of that from the heavens The woman who actually had a period while performing says, "I was on my period," which was like, "Cool, good for you." She was probably like some sort of feminist icon because she had the. It's like me. If I did an Olympic sport, when I got kicked in the nuts the previous day.
She wasn't the only. No, that's the thing.
Sat on my
She
nuts
probably wasn't the
day.
only one.
Yeah.
Like in the
I had the
history of the
runs.
Olympics, I find it really hard to believe that the majority of the women, like, come on, it's going to happen. It's just that they didn't brag. It's like, hey, I was totally menstruating when I won that gold medal.
There's probably 50% of them that have been on their period.
Yeah, they just don't talk
it
about it because it's
Numbers.
like, why bring that up? Like it's some kind of accomplishment.
But the thing that
they're like they're 8 years old. Hey, Mom, I had my period. Oh, good for you.
Oh my God! I've just googled this. The first result that comes up from the Olympics proposal was what we're talking about. This incident, and they are trying to play it off as him completely trying to steal her moment from her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The BBC talked about it either being romantic.
Only about the men.
Yeah. The romantic, was this romantic or was it another example of male control?
BBC 6 hours later published a interview with a pair of them where she said, "I was just really, really overwhelmed."
Yeah.
She said this was the biggest decision of my life. And to be honest, it took massive balls from... I understand where she was. She was in a massive situation where she was probably pressured to say yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like the way that everyone kind of like fed their own weird insecurities onto that moment.
Yeah.
When frankly, it was just between the two of them. Yes,
and they don't know what the relationship is. They don't know how long it's been going on for. They don't know how good or bad it's going. They got no
6
information.
years.
They just make all these assumptions. Fuck you.
Well, in the interview, she actually said that we have been dating for 6 years and we actually had agreed to get married. She just didn't expect him to do it then.
Yeah. So he
did
the uber romantic thing and proposed to her in front of everybody.
I don't want to be sort of. I don't want to be all
of it forever, and they tried to shit all over it.
Yeah, I don't want to be super uber MRA man yay here, but frankly, that took a lot of guts. I don't think I could have done that.
No.
You know, it's okay. Here's the thing. The whole public proposal thing is generally like it's frowned upon because she is put on the spot, and if she says no, then she's embarrassed you forever. It's generally what guys do when they're terrified that she's probably going to say no.
Yeah.
But the thing is whether she said no or yes is the point, and he did it anyway. And why shit on him and her for the most part? It's just, we want to make your proposal and your bronze medal and your life about us kind of situation, and people just, they didn't give a shit. Like, if you look at comments about it, and everybody's just like, why is this important? Why do we care? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is.
Let's talk about female athletes wearing burqas.
That was the pinnacle of Olympic BS when they printed that, when they published that article, when they compared the Iranian team to the German team in beach volleyball, and
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they had been trying to get an outrage story off the ground that they could generate clicks and attention off of since the Olympics fucking started.
And people are in the sports, they generally don't give two shits about that crap. They just want to know who won.
Yeah, and they're kind of distracting from the point of, suspiciously, for the first time in years, well, actually for the first time ever, there are a suspicious amount of, how shall I word it? Sports burkas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of this distracts about how hilarious Jeffrey Julemus's run for Haiti was on the hurdles, which is the highlight of the Olympics.
I have to say, I like the Australian female hurdles.
Hitting the first hurdle
Yeah,
and
that
falling
is.
over and
Oh,
rolling
that was
was
hilarious.
the greatest thing about this Olympics. You got to the Olympics. You got to the best in the world. You got all this way.
And you
First
trip.
hurdle.
I'll be saying I have just become offended.
Yeah, but
I have just looked up the chat and Virtue said olives suck.
Yep.
Come on, Virtue. I thought we were tighter than that.
Black olives matter.
They do matter. Black olives absolutely matter.
Yeah, but
Get that shit off my pizza.
Yeah, the thing is though, it's just it shows how low the fucking journalistic.
No, because internet.
Levels.
Okay, that's the thing. Journalism as a whole is dying out because of this, and it was something that people have been warning for years. People have been saying it for years, and it's starting to it's become public knowledge that all of these sites, all of these news stations and so-called news, networks and whatnot, that they're all just garbage, money-grubbing idiots for the most part.
Are you talking
and
about
anyone could do
the
their job.
Armenian genocide network?
No, that's just that. Anybody can do their jobs.
Yeah,
and they because of
we're doing their jobs better than they are.
Okay, as I was just pointing out to somebody on the Twitster, Gamergate, we haven't invented journalistic ethics. We have simply been saying, these are the standards that the industry is supposed to have. We would like you to adhere to them. Mm-hmm. These are already, the SPJ, for fuck's sake, never mind all the drama bullshit. The actual finding is, Gawker, I would never quote or cite them, and yet they're routinely quoted and cited as a source. And you have all this shit going on. We're in the right. It's just that most of the media doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, when it came to the GameGate thing, it was I thought the biggest burn ever was from Giant Bomb's Jeff Gerstmann. The guy was fired from GameSpot for giving Ken and Lynch a bad review. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
He actually
6 out of 10 got fired.
Yeah, he actually is an avid anti-Gamergate guy. Yeah. And when given an interview, if he was asked if he gave a shit about journalistic ethics, I think this was 18 months ago, about 6 months after the Gamergate first started, he actually said, I care about journalistic ethics, I don't think anyone else does, though. And I was like, oh, bitch. And now,
I don't want to agree with these other people.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, your website traffic is going way down since you got sold back to CNET, and
all of them are. That's just it. Across the board, across the map, all of these sites are losing money. Mm-hmm. All of them are failing. Which
and
is
all
why
of these tactics were desperate attempts to raise their traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were. Well, it's more of a circling the wagons, oh shit, they figured this out kind of way. Because I was just thinking, I don't want to bring them up, but I want to anyway, so I'm going to do it.
But even people who hate Gamergate...
Even if you've got people who will get... And as someone pointed out, every group, every hashtag, every movement in history has been given a voice to speak for themselves, except for one. The one that actually was talking about how journalistic ethics may be in the shitter. Yeah. That was the one group that was not actually given a mainstream chance to speak for itself.
Yeah.
I know, and that's the thing. Even the people who hate Gamergate now cringe whenever these websites bring up Gamergate because they're just like, just stop talking about it. It's over. It's been over for a while. And it's even obvious to them that these sites only bring it up to try and generate traffic and get attention.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of attention,
winning without even trying.
Speaking of attention whores, because there's been a lot about our favorite, well, not my favorite gay guy, because my favorite gay guy is Dave Rubin, but Milo.
My favorite's me, but still.
Yeah, well, Milo, the dangerous faggot, has been in the news again, because...
And this time for a bad reason.
Yeah, this time... I can't really get a hold of what has happened, but apparently the money he had collected for his white privilege fund.
Privilege fund.
Privilege fund. Yeah. Has been shipped into his personal account.
No, here's the thing. He was
his-
always using his personal bank account to handle the money, and he's apparently people asked him, "Where's the money?" "It's in my bank account."
Yeah.
It like he did not understand that this would set anybody off. He's essentially saying, "Well, look, here's the money. I haven't spent it. We've had organizational problems, so he hasn't gotten shit done." And people are now asking, "Well, why aren't you getting shit done?" And also, that's kind of squirrely money handling. It's like, okay,
I
yeah,
just
these
think
are
it's
valid
funny
points.
that people. Okay, here's the thing: the fact that people trusted them with their money in the first place is kind of like you knew what you were getting into. It
Well,
was
he
because,
hasn't made off with it. Okay,
yeah, he hasn't made off with it.
Fair either way. I mean,
It's
he
not
could.
like
He
he
could.
has a big team handling his finances, or like give him a chance to like do what he said he was going to do. But to be perfectly honest, why were you giving him money in the first
Yeah,
place? Like,
I think my point to that would be is like I understand that he's been busy. I do understand that. I do get that. But at the same time, you are kind of handling other people's money, which they donated to you. And I think with the whole, he actually got a lot of his audience from Gamergate. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Mhm.
And these are the same people who are absolutely. Oh, virtue, black olives are beautiful. Sorry, chat. What he is actually should have known is that if you're going to ask people for money, you should have actually completely been upfront and delivered. And I understand his thing. He's been busy. I get it. But he did ask people for money, and a lot of people in Gamergate are now very, very what's the word for this?
Perturbed, upset,
Not upset. I mean, what's the term like?
worried.
A word
no,
to a word to
they
describe.
were warned. They were warned from the beginning that Gamergate was going to be nothing more for Mio than a springboard, just
Yeah.
like it was for a lot of people. They were warned about anybody who was asking for money. Warned from the beginning. And people didn't listen. People wanted to idolize him. People wanted to put him up on this pedestal, just like every other GG person or anti-GG person who got famous or got a little bit of attention. People wanted to rally behind them.
So you're saying that I'm not saying that people won't work. I'm just saying that. Do you think I'm actually coming at this from a
What exactly are you asking for that?
semi sympathetic Marlowe voice viewpoint here is like I understand that he's one dude and he has actually jumped in at the deep end, spread himself a bit too far. But at the same time, I don't think it should be people's fault, other people's fault that gave him money. That it's their fault that he has not got his privilege grant going on the date he said it would be.
Yeah, he should have. Here's the thing.
No,
Should have.
he should have gotten it
Yeah.
done on the right at the right time. He should have gotten it done.
He
No
should have had
question.
a structure in place to actually manage that fucking fund. He
Mhm.
should have had that.
However, people thinking that he could automatically do that are equally as dumb.
Yeah, I agree. Just
Okay,
giving
look.
your money away and expecting everything to be hunky dory from a
What
guy
this?
that
Okay.
is an attention.
He gave
fucking
no
freak.
What this
information about how
was.
he was going to do this. He
Yeah.
gave no information about how it was going to work. He just said, "I'm doing this for this. Please give me money."
And here's the thing: this was essentially done much like the feminist card deck that was put out. The
Yeah.
difference is that Milo hasn't actually made
But
off
it's
with the
Milo.
money
He's
yet.
for us. He's one of us.
But no, this is my point though. It's the same amateurish routine where people who put into it didn't really expect anything back. Even the backers, you tell them, "Well, you're not getting your money back." We don't know that's the case with Milo. We do know it's the case with the feminist deck, and they're all like, "Well, we don't care because we knew it was a Kickstarter, and we just did this to support feminist values and ideals." So you gave your money to a scam artist deliberately to stick it to the man, literally.
Mm.
And it's like, okay, fine. If you wanted to waste your money on that, great. I am hoping that Milo does the right thing ultimately.
I think he will.
I will be
I do
pissed
think
off
he
if he
will.
doesn't. I will be pissed off if he doesn't, but I'm not going to leap to the get him kind of thing. You just see people popping up and doing the snark routines again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what did you expect from the guy?
Yeah,
Look at me, I can do the sickest
Like,
burn
Milo
on
isn't
it's
fucking
okay.
Jesus. Like, there's this
No.
thing where people
Well,
think
I
that he
think
can
he is
just
though.
accomplish.
That's the creepy thing. They have this like weird. He has developed this weird.
cult
Dare I
of
say it?
personality. There's a lot of
Yes.
cult of
Yes.
personality around him. And
Mhm.
that's exactly why I've been saying this time and time again. Don't trust anyone from the right any more than you would trust these fuckers on the left.
Nope.
Oh, that was a thing. Like, there were people who wanted to use GG as a way to push their politics on both sides
Yeah.
of the aisle, and that was always the way it was. And you can, and everybody wanted to. There were a lot of people who wanted to pretend that that wasn't the case. There wasn't a big. Not a lot of people in GG were right wing. Not a lot of people were even right wing, let alone alt right.
Yeah, I
It's
think
just
that's the
that they
reason
wanted.
that when you saw the numbers sort of dwindle out, it's when people who
Alt-right are
the
very much late.
yeah, when they're alt-right sort of laying claim to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
this-
as soon as they tried to lay claim, as soon as they tried to control, as soon as they tried to imprint and force their values and beliefs and whatnot
That's
on
when the
everybody else.
centrists and the leftists left.
Yeah.
I'm still
And we dipped.
Yeah.
We dipped
I think-
because
I think-
and Milo, he saw a group of people that he could exploit to push his politics and to make money. And I'm not saying that that's wrong inherently, as long as he does what he's claiming he's going to do. But it was nothing more for a lot of these people to
It was a
springboard.
symbiotic. It's a symbiotic relationship. He got something out of it, and he knew it, and we understood that we were getting something out of it. And the thing is, people at the time bitched up a storm because people did not like Breitbart. They were quick to bring up what Milo had originally said about gamers in general, and that he was dismissive. Milo had to give a lot of good press to
Yeah.
Gamergate, essentially give us blowjobs in text in order to earn the respect that he has.
Yeah, and
Now
people keep
he has been
dragging these.
capitalizing it, but
Yeah.
it's not like we haven't gotten any value out of the relationship either.
No, and
100
people
grand
keep.
worth, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I will go on the record to say, even though I disagree with his politics quite a lot, I quite like Milo. I think
Yeah.
I think he is more honest than a lot of people give him credit for.
yeah,
And-
and here's the thing. People keep forgetting. People can change their minds on groups of people during their
Oh, yeah.
life. Just
Yeah.
because he said something in 2012 and 2011 about gamers and about internet trolls, and then all of a sudden just changed his fucking mind, it can happen because he actually talked to people. He talked to gamers. He talked to me. He talked to everybody. Or, not everybody, but he talked to a lot of fucking
Does
people.
that make you feel special?
Oh, yeah.
To be
I had to go
perfectly
in the
frank,
back room
there's
and
more
talk to my
to that.
mannequins.
There's more to that than there was for Obama suddenly switching and going for gay marriage after Biden said, "Oh yeah, he's totally for it." Literally, that was overnight with no warning, no previous
Yeah, exactly,
change.
exactly.
Suddenly, Obama said, "Well, my views have evolved." And here's the thing: is we're seeing that Milo actually made the effort.
Yeah, and the thing is, if he was actually, if he was, here's I'm trying to form a sentence in my head that
Yeah,
makes
you're
sense.
failing
If
miserably.
he wasn't just so handsome,
Yeah, if he was trying to do this cynically from the start, I don't think he wasn't being cynical from the start. I think he actually saw this revolt against the politically correct on the left as a way of gaining some notoriety, but I actually think he, after a while, became more aware that these people that he actually liked a lot of even the leftists within GG and the centrists within GG, because he understood that there were the principles that they were standing for, and not necessarily just they had the correct ideology. And that's the thing. I don't.
You're making you're making a couple of assumptions.
Yes, I am making a couple of assumptions, and
It's called the benefit of the doubt.
yes, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, while I'm also saying that he
It's the same
may
as
have.
benefit of the doubt that everyone, for the most part, has given Ian Miles Chong
Yeah.
when he apologized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be he's been playing the long con all along, in which case he's been masterful at it.
Yep.
And I will be pissed off if that's what it ultimately turns out to be. But I am the kind of guy who's given people the benefit of the doubt throughout my life, and I will continue to do that.
Yeah.
The thing is I didn't care whether he was conning GG or not, because in the beginning, the fact that he was around and speaking out and had such a big voice to battle against them was enough. And I was willing, and still am willing to put up with a lot of his views that I disagree with, because of the reaction he gets from the other side. The fact that they freak out, the fact that he shows just how easily it is to turn them into screaming, crying children.
Did you know, I'm actually in the UK, and I knew of Milo years before GG. But the sad fact was that Milo was, despite his self-aggrandizing, which even he admits, don't be a bit of a fanboy about this one, but even he admits that he wasn't really anything before G. But GG has actually been his big. That was his big moment. That was when he actually did leap forward.
Yeah, and he has said that on several occasions. I think he actually mentioned that during the Rubin Report interview as well.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to GG, this is the point I was going to say earlier. Are any of you familiar with the Yankee Marshal on YouTube?
Nope.
He's basically a gun channel, and he's basically a gun. He's a big Second Amendment kind of guy, but he is also a leftist. And he was saying that when he was actually him and his group of friends, they always had a gun rally every single year, and the media started disliking them. Saying, "Oh, they're guns, they're right wing, they're racist, and all that bullshit."
Yeah.
And he noticed that after like a year of everyone that they are a bunch of right wing racist dickbags, he started noticing a lot of Confederate flags around here all of a sudden. And now there are Bible readings on stage and people talking about how much they hate Obama. And he went, and that was his moment. That's why I likened it to GG with the alt-right sort of like attempted takeover. It was once the media started saying these guys are racist, these guys are sexist, these guys are ultra-Christian nutters, that his actual gun rally was hijacked by all these people. And from the get-go, that was always my fear of GG, that it would happen. But
and it did.
It didn't happen. All that happened was a bunch of alt-right people turned up and claimed to be GG, rough, and attention-seeking dickheads who rough, and
everybody dipped.
and then after that, after they tried to put this claim onto I am GG, I am the alt-right, we are this and that, the other, everyone just kind of went, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they realized that they were nothing without everybody else.
Yeah, even people who were like traditional conservatives, when the alt-right turned out, just went, fuck this, bye.
Yeah.
It's like Red Sonja on Twitter, when it became a witch hunt to drive out anyone who wasn't completely alt-right. She left, and she was one of my favourite people.
Yeah, Nicole Sun left because of the fucking GG or the alt-right.
No, everybody, and it was the revolt tards, and we went into detail about why that's why John Kelly getting made a bitch finally on that stream, which I listen to it like once a week.
Yeah.
I still haven't listened to it. I couldn't find that link. You're gonna have to link it to me.
What are you talking about?
John Kelly losing it on stream.
Basically, he got broken down to tears. Whether they were real or not is debatable. But it's the kind of thing where.
To
be honest,
just looking them up.
if I could be honest, John Kelly has never been anything but nice to me.
Oh no, me neither. I've never experienced him
But
being
you
an
guys have
asshole to
never
me, but
engaged him. You've
no,
never disagreed with him on something.
no, that
Oh,
might
yeah,
be
he's
it.
an
True,
actual
that is
I
absolutely
until
actually,
he
I
got
actually
crossed with the
remember
political.
John being in the chat for the League of Evil podcast quite early on, and he
Yeah,
was quite well behaved when he was there. So
well, it's the same with like Varelo, because remember people say Varelo's like this nutter, and he is. What he's written has been, I don't agree with or like very much. But everyone says that when they speak to Varelo, he was absolutely fine, completely rational, completely calm, completely accepting.
yeah,
Then when they invited someone like Sargon or something on board, he became like this
yeah,
bull who'd just seen the red cloak. He just
yeah.
completely lost everything, and I think it's this hatred of e-celebrity.
To be quite frank, the only guy I had a problem with in GG was Italia GG, and that was because of a
He's a
disagreement over
Nazi.
fascism.
He's a bit of a Nazi. Let's not
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
Yeah, he is.
yeah. I had a disagreement about whether
Well,
fascism
no,
was
was the
right
thing.
wing or left wing.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with those interpretations.
Yeah.
It's when you look, Italy GG never. He got called out very, very quickly for the things he was doing,
Yeah,
and he never gained a following. But he never went as bad as the GG Revolt people and John
He didn't
Kelly
spurg out.
no.
and Renee,
No.
where they were
Oh,
literally.
he
No,
did
no, no, no,
spurg
no, no,
out.
no. Let me finish, Jen.
Yeah.
These people were literally going around and fucking headhunting people
Yeah.
for wrong think. And Italy GG, yes, he did some, but the thing is when Italy GG tried to do it, he was shut down quickly. They didn't gain followings. He didn't get a little Gestapo group that he, could order to go around and do hits for him, like John Kelly and like, Varela and some of these other people. They
Ralph!
basically killed the tag single-handedly while everybody else basically just walked away like we could still do what we want to do and still hold these sites to accountable and still do everything that we were trying to do in GG,
Yeah.
but without you guys.
Yeah.
And so yes, I'm sure they were nice to you. Congratulations. But when I tried to talk to John Kelly about something that he did, his immediate reaction when he was losing the argument was to call me a monkey and a gorilla.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make me mad because, one, I was cheering because, hey, I won the argument because that's what that signifies to me. But don't pretend like...
No, I'm not pretending.
No, he actually called me a gorilla.
Yeah, I know.
For God's sake, what a dick.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, the people who don't like John Kelly have specific examples where he was a fucking dick to them.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing with... Alright, here's the thing.
I've seen enough. I saw that argument. I can remember that argument, actually.
I don't like Oliver that much. No. I've never lied about that. But when John Kelly was calling him a house nigger, that's when I engaged. Yeah. When I was asking him, why did you have to call him that specifically? You could have went anywhere else with that. You could have, but you had to use the term house nigger. Why did you do that? And that was the question I kept asking him, and he kept avoiding the question and trying to go off on all of these tangents. And when he realized I wasn't going to let that question go, that's when oh, you're a monkey and you're a gorilla, and then his buddies and his goons showed up to call me a monkey and a gorilla and all this other shit. And it's like, yeah, you don't have an answer. You were intentionally trying to be racist in order to stir up shit because that's what you're there for. That's what you like to do. So I don't give a shit what he all right. It's the same thing they finally got him to fucking break on stream when they literally cornered him and said, "What have you fucking done to help anybody or anything? Yeah. You have not done a goddamn thing." And you can shit on people that you're, politically opposed to all you want, but John Kelly did not do a goddamn positive thing the entire time he's been involved with anything in GG.
Agreed.
I've had exactly 2 run-ins with him, almost exactly a year apart. The first one was when GG Revolt first kicked off, and I started looking into it. I bumped into Kelly and his bunch on their initial spur run. I was like, nope, nope, right the fuck out. And because immediately, the very first thing I said to him was like, this doesn't look right. Well, fuck you. You're not on board. You don't understand what's going on. Who the hell do you think you're? Okay, fine. Not going to even get into it here. I see where this is going.
Yeah.
A year later, out of the blue, he drops into some other convo I'm having with somebody about GG and just starts talking like a normal person. Until, again, we have a minor disagreement. He doesn't spurt this time, but it's already kind of like he draws a hard line about what he will even talk about.
Yeah, I think my whole point about not my point, but my experience with the whole GG Revolt thing, because I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't give a shit. At this point, I was just looking at Robador and just going, what a bunch of dicks they were.
Yeah.
And it was, whenever I came across it, they were always talking about, basically saying that they had difference of opinion, and they were, basically they kept saying their points were misrepresented, and I didn't know much about them, to be honest, so I basically didn't say much. I didn't interact much, let's put it that way. And then I saw Sargon of a card, for you people who might not know, because we're such bigger deals than he is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I basically said to him, I actually asked him, well, what have G done? And Sargon gave me the most condescending reply of, why do you think I should answer you? And it's like, dude, you did follow me ages ago, and that was kind of
Did you hurt your
not my point.
Sargon has me on mute because he thinks I'm alt-right, so...
it was the whole thing. The whole thing was basically... I just flat out came to his face and just said, what is the problem with GGR that you think? And he just basically wouldn't answer my question. He just kept saying, well, what do you think about this and that? And I told him, and I said, well, what did GG Revolt to you? And he didn't answer me. To which I went, okay, I will give GG Revolt a little bit of leeway, then, oh my god, no I'm not, no, they're not.
But, since we're on the subject of GG, and it's been 2 years since the Zoe post, Zoe Quinn's book has been pulled.
And movie.
Well, duh.
And Scarlett Johansson is really upset, you guys.
I am Jack's total lack of surprise.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the movie thing is kind of implied, but given that the rights were bought by Amy Pascal, who also recently handed Ghostbusters to Paul Feig. Oh, man.
Yeah, but
she got fired. Every project she was trying to push.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Canned.
Amy Pascal bought the rights for the book.
Yes.
For her own fucking production company, the same production company that makes all the fucking sappy romantic comedies that she's made. But
isn't that a subdivision of Sony?
It is a subdivision of Sony. Yes, it is. It is a subdivision.
Backing from somebody financially, it's not her money.
Yeah, good luck with her getting the fucking money to do anything.
No, exactly. But the thing is that those rights are tied to the book, so they were actually dependent on the book getting released. And what I'm hearing, I'm not gonna throw this out there as absolutely confirmed for why it got pulled, but what I'm hearing from a couple of people in the publishing world. Yeah, but here's the thing. It's a combination of two things. It's late chapters, and also when they tried to fact check the chapters, they fell through.
When
legal said, "Hey, can we get sued for this?" and somebody came back and said, "Probably, yeah."
Yeah, and that's the thing. Everybody, like, as soon as I heard that book deal happen, my immediate response was, they can't do the book in the first place because she has borderline personality disorder and can't fucking stop lying.
Yeah.
No matter what. So any book chapters that she released are going to, be exaggerated and going to be lying, and it's impossible for her to tell the story that is the narrative that she needs in order to have a career she's gonna get sued. She's gonna get sued by anybody that she basically, for the most part, lies about, and that's too much of a burden to have on a book that's not going to sell all that well in the first place. It'd be different if people were knocking down their doors for this book, but maybe 20 people would buy this damn book, and it's not worth losing millions of dollars by getting sued over lies.
I think that the Gawker situation might actually be waking a lot of people up, because they can no longer release things and lie about people without getting any sort of repercussions, and they don't actually have any evidence of what she's claiming either.
That's the thing.
The court case with Aaron. The court case with Aaron.
No, it's two things. They're going to ask her to turn over the proof of her harassment, to put it in the book, because there's no book without that proof.
Yeah.
Because you need to see the gory, juicy details of what people were sending her and da 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 da. And she doesn't have it. The second thing is the amount of just con artists and horrible people around her, that if you do basic research, where everybody around her just seems to be horrible people that are involved in horrible things with horrible ideas, that nobody's going to buy that book. It's just the way it is. It's not going to make any money. At the end of the day, nobody's going to buy that fucking book.
I think you're seeing this in the way that I do not see it. I think the reason the book got cancelled is because I think real, possibly people who keep track of metrics, or people are actually interested in, no one gives a shit about the subject matter.
No. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even if 1,000 copies got sold, 1,000 copies are not a lot of copies. Even 1,000 copies would be average for a writer. It would be average for a writer. So her even getting sold 200 copies would be amazing. So that being enough for it being canceled? No, it's not. It's not. Bad sales numbers for a niche book is not enough to get it canceled. The main thing, I think, is the lying. It is the fact that she can't prove anything, and it is also the thing that she may not have been working on the fucking book. And the publisher
Zoe Quinn not working?
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul would be fucking shocked.
There are books that do posit fake proofs in order to sell the narrative. They don't have to offer real proof. If they were willing to get that book out there, it doesn't matter if she doesn't have the proof. They can pretend they do, and people will buy it. Yeah. And they will succeed as far as they're concerned, as long as they get enough from it.
This is the thing with wait,
let me talk. I'm a special snowflake, let me talk. What was actually...
Dude, you're trying to pull up...
Really,
I refer
motherfucker?
to the top hat and the monocle. Go for it.
I am trans turnip. Let me talk. The whole thing was basically, the book was finished, it was done. I strongly doubt it wasn't done. I suspect it was done by a ghostwriter, but the book was finished and was rejected. And the deal.
Yeah, then it is fact checking. That's what I've heard. I've heard both. Yeah, I've heard both.
The most minimum amount of fact checking would have ripped that book to shreds in any form that it was written, in any way possible, because eventually you would have to look at the Zoe post and ask, is it true or is it not true? And if the Zoe post is true, then she doesn't get to pretend she's the victim. But there's nothing in there that says, hey, the Zoe post is, you can't discredit what you can say, oh, well, him telling the truth was harassment. That's what the book would boil down to.
And the fact that Aaron actually won his court case, and had the guy.
Zoe actually won, you guys. Zoe actually won. She just had a spark of conscience, and she was going to give him mercy, you guys. She won, really, you guys. It's just
Here,
go
this
to
is
my
the thing.
article on
Okay.
go to my article on Gamergazi, and you'll see that she won. Really, she totally won. God.
This is the point that I was going to make earlier, though. Zoe Quinn has lived in this bubble for the longest time where she's never had to prove anything. Nobody's ever called her on it. She is used to just making shit up as she goes and not have... Even major media outlets have never really looked into her questions. But now we have a book publisher who's... They're not really journalists.
They have to cover their ass legally.
Yeah, they do. Much more than, say, a press conglomerate does, until Gawker proved that otherwise. But yeah, they're essentially it's like, yeah, we need to fact check, we need to do this. I fully expect that her response to this will be to attack the publisher.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't done it already. To be perfectly honest.
Oh,
She's going to start screaming, and she's going to start telling people that Gamergate or whoever got to the wrong people and it's just sabotage, and they got the ear of Amy, and that's why she's not getting the movie, and give to my Patreon. And what do you mean I need to give the advance back?
There it is. Evil, you wanted to talk about Dragon's Trap before I have a rant about Clue as the last word?
Yeah. One of my favorite games of all time. It's a side-scrolling platformer with RPG elements. They're remaking it. It's from originally it was made in 1989 with the Sega Master System. It's a fantastic
the worst name for a game you could possibly have.
No, it's the best name for a game with the current climate. Come on. Let's be honest here. The Dragon's Trap. And he transitions into multiple animal forms. Oh, yeah!
I'm just saying, unfortunate name, good game.
Oh, it's a great game. And you should totally check it out. The remake is being done faithfully. They're not changing shit for the sake of changing it. They're adding a bunch of new content, and it looks fucking gorgeous.
But is it free?
I'm serious. No, it's not free. You tied up.
Do what you usually do, Tarsen. Just do what you usually do.
Okay, Evil, can you buy it for me?
Maybe. It depends on how generous you are on my birthday.
Hello, baby. Hello.
How many sandwiches are we talking?
Which I must say, next week on the podcast, it is my birthday, so
do you already have that?
Everyone needs to get drunk.
Yeah, and that is also the second anniversary of GG, so that's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
My cat has just chosen this moment to appear on my lap, so...
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I love him. He loves me. It's the only love I've got in my life.
Cats don't love anything.
He does. Baby.
Cats do love something. They love themselves.
Yeah.
Using an abusive...
That's why I relate to cats so much.
Because it's an abusive relationship?
Yep.
Yeah.
But at least they can't take half your stuff.
Before we end the stream, I want to say something about another remake.
You know what? I have to ask a question before you do that, Jan.
Yep.
Why are you surprised that they're remaking
This film is a very weird film to remake, to be honest.
Yeah,
Don't remake anything.
Until I met Jan, I didn't realize anyone else loved this film apart from me.
Yeah.
What, Clue?
Yeah. Clue is one of the
fucking amazing.
It's one of the best fucking comedies from the 80s. It's
one of the last great ensemble comedies.
Yes.
Hey guys, I want to give you a very personal story about this film to me.
Yeah.
The woman who played, was it Miss Scarlet?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a young lad, my first ever fap.
Oh, thank you.
There you go, very personal information.
The thing is the movie was panned when it came out. Critics didn't like it, and it didn't make a lot of money. But, like every other movie that a particular actor was in, it became a cult movie.
Yeah.
So many male tears. In the cup from BioWare development.
Okay, let's stop. I'd rather Jan talk about his mannequins, okay?
You do realize that when you say that, it just means that I'm going to talk about this more. Anyway, Jan, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it's just...
As a quick aside, when is your book coming out?
Once my editor is out of the hospital, because she got committed to the hospital.
What did you do to her?
What did you write in the book?
It was too slow for you.
I will not accept responsibility.
I don't think being in the hospital will make it go any faster.
As soon as my editor comes out of therapy, it will be
No, she's in hospital. She's actually quite.
Was
ill,
your book
so.
that bad that it caused her?
Oh, I don't know. It's just But once she's out of the hospital,
Your book gave her a hernia.
Okay.
Yes, it was that big.
Him, she will tell
Vikings
him
can't even
just
write a
caused it,
book without
whether it's
hurting
novel
people.
or not.
Yeah.
Guys,
Vikings cannot even write a book without hurting people.
We actually have to work out the art of one person at a time.
Yes, we do need to.
I can just yell at whoever's talking over someone else, as I talk over Jan.
Yeah.
My apologies, I do that a lot.
Shut up!
I love the way that Ira goes, hey, let me finish, Jan, let me finish. And the moment Jan stalks, stop!
Train tracks, dude.
It's the nature of our relationship. But anyways,
I will tackle Jan off the train tracks when I see he's standing in front of the train every time, and I will not apologize for it.
You're one of the few people that will.
And I love Art for that because because I make a lot of stupid mistakes when it comes to logic because I'm a very logical person and the world is not logical.
Jan is Spock.
Say no homo.
Yeah, no homo.
Talk about Clue, no homo, go.
Yes. Anyways, Hollywood has decided once again to remake one of my favorite fucking movies of all time, and
every movie that's made is one of your favorite movies of all time, though.
Yes, and that is the problem.
Did he just bitch about people interrupting him?
Please.
Jesus Christ!
Once again, we are separate.
You're the problem here, Jan. Considering it's every film you like that's getting remade.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that people
Artivous...
with British accents aren't the same person, Artemis. We are separate people.
They've already destroyed my childhood entirely with Red Dawn.
It's at the point that Hollywood is writing this fucking remake cock like a tired old $5 whore.
Go on.
And it's driving me insane because it's what I do professionally or what I'm trying to do professionally. And
well, here's the problem. You're not writing remakes.
Yes.
Yeah, Jan, why aren't you writing remakes?
Because I have a fucking soul, and I don't want to sell it to Satan.
That's debatable, okay?
Why don't you write a remake of something that's really terrible?
Look, Satan comes past every week, and you refuse to sell.
Yeah.
Christ.
Didn't you say, Bill, that you wrote a stage play after like one of your Nordic myths, right? Which is basically a remake. So, you are complicit in this problem.
No, that's a tale based on another myth.
No.
It's a tale based on another myth. I'm just going to keep talking until everyone else stops talking. I'm completely attention viewing.
I will not have
everyone
that.
Listen to me. I'm just going to keep talking until everyone else stops talking.
Plippy, allow me to defend myself. Allow me to defend myself.
All right, go ahead, go.
Because I did not say that I wrote. Yes, I have written a story based upon one of the old Norse gods.
Basically a remake.
It's not a fucking remake because nobody's made a movie about Tyr before. Shut the fuck up.
It's a remake.
I will not have this. Anyways, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a last word on.
Why don't you? I just wanted to get this out. Why don't you take something that was an original crappy movie and remake it into something?
No, I want to hear Jan's view on Clue. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go.
Yes.
Last word. Shut up, everyone else.
Yep.
I am.
Okay. Clue was one of my favorite movies growing up. It was an amazingly funny comedy. It was made with one of my favorite actors at the time, Tim Curry. And Hollywood is on this remake trip. Basically doing all the remakes that are not meant to... that shouldn't be remade because they're basically out for a quick buck. And I've had it. I don't want to... I don't feel like I could work in an environment where you feel like you can't have any original stories or you can't remake things that have been done badly. Take, for instance, Spawn. If you're going to remake a fucking superhero movie, why not do Spawn? If you're going to remake a superhero movie, why not do The Shadow, which was a fucking travesty?
I liked it.
Well, of course you do.
Judge.
God damn it, Poopy.
I just liked it.
You also like Resident Evil.
I think you should too.
I will not.
You will. What's the second one? That'd be good.
Yes.
See, this is why I push people off the train tracks.
Yes.
Shouldn't you be pushing them on? That would help.
I resemble that remark. I'm not happy with that one.
Oh, anyways.
I'm just going to sit back and watch the train hit all of you.
It's just... It feels like they've allowed the bean counters to run something that used to be a beautiful thing, telling stories and trying to relate the universal of humanity, the universality of humanity into the ground. And I realize what people are going to say. Well, Aristotle said there are only 3 stories. There's man against himself, there's man against his nearest loved ones, and there's man against the system. Yeah. Well, you don't need to do every fucking story that has already been made in the past. Stop it, Hollywood. You're killing me. You are literally fucking killing my creative soul by doing this. Because you're making it harder for younger writers to actually tell new stories. And, yeah, that's it. Yes, I realize I'm boring you. Fuck off.
No, I was interested. I was interested.
I don't think young writers really are all that interested in doing something new in a lot of cases. I think they're interested in doing this one thing that they've seen before, but they want to do it better. Because that's how that's how I was when I started making stories, and I think that's how a lot of people are. They see something, they think, I like that, I want to do it as well, I want to do it my way, but they don't really do anything new with it, and I think a lot of things don't do anything new because there's no real need to in a lot of cases.
Yes.
It's the problem that I'm trying to get Jen through mentally, that every artist has to deal with eventually.
Yeah, it's a matter of maturity.
There is a difference between making art for yourself and making art that's going to be sold.
Yeah, that it is true.
I will say to this, there was an documentary about Aerosmith in their later years. No, what was it? The album that had Jaded on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually had a documentary about that, and in the documentary they will say the most soulless stuff you've ever heard about making art. And I think when it comes to Jan, I think you should resist that. Don't become that.
No. Well, I do want to see Jan do a particular remake, if I may suggest, and feel free to utterly reject this out of hand.
Gay
but
niggas from outer space?
Wild West.
Wild West.
Actually, that couldn't get any worse. So that would actually be worthy of a remake.
Gay niggas from outer space.
Yes, that is a great movie. You can't remake Gay Niggers from Outer Space.
There's nothing that needs to be remade out of that film. It was perfect.
Yes, exactly.
And yet you're bitching at me for recommending Resident Evil to you. Come on.
Anyways, that will be it for Unsolicited Opinions today.
Amazingly.
Once we get Civilian Sky to shut up and allow me to do my outro.
She just does not stop talking.
You know what's great about that?
He does not stop
He started
talking.
off as the quiet guy, and he never really wanted to talk on stream, and then he finally talks, and it's just to troll you.
Yeah. Because that's what Sky loves to do. That's what Tarsen does. He's a fucking yawn troll. Anyways,
Why do you think you make it so easy?
because I keep running into your trolls.
Can I just give a quick plug here, slightly?
Yeah.
No.
If you want to hear the worst stream of all time, go Google the Fireside Podcast on YouTube. Find the thing with me, Mr. Shikaka, Gamer Rages, and Broke Till Get Rich, and you will hear the worst fucking podcast you've ever heard in your life from yesterday. It was awful.
Yeah.
No, basically, what happened was it was Gamer Rages about 15 minutes in, and it was then Mr. Shikaki and him talking about Pokemon while the rest of us were trying to have a goddamn conversation. It was 3 hours of absolute shite.
Okay.
Well, you were talking about Pokemon. You invited the autism.
Yeah. That is known. Anyways,
Oh god, just end the stream, Jen.
Yes.
End it.
Yes, allow me to end it then.
No.
Oh, shut the
Another
fuck
thing.
up. Could you please shut up, Plippy? On Sunday, the Tagline podcast will finally be back after a 2 weeks hiatus. Next Friday, we will be back with the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I will not be on vacation that time, so it will be a fun one that time as well. Anyways, that has been the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. With me, as always, has been Artivous Ira and Dr. Evil and our regular Civilian Sky and Roy and our other regular. Keep forgetting you, Plippy.
I exist, guys.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Shut up.
The blue one, Flipster, has been here as well. Anyways, my name is of course JH. My name is of course JH Lillevik, also known as the Meerkat Monarch, and
Also known as Stuttering Jan.
And shut the fuck up. We're ending the stream. Good night, everybody. Good night. Fuck off.
I like fish.
Ha 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 ha!